Hey everyone, and welcome back to Gearblocks. If you are a regular on my channel, you will know about the Jeep-like SUV that I've been working on. It's almost done. I just did a video on my truck, so if you're watching this and haven't seen the truck, it will have been out before this video. And I figured I should also do a video on the 8x8 that I've been working on, even though it's not done yet. So, basically, I will start from the wheels and go up. It has the same axles as the Jeep does, so if you'd like to see how that's done in a better detail, check out the Jeep videos. And then for this one, I just made simple portals for it, with 3 bigger wheels on it. And then for this truck, I also widened them a little bit. I wanted this to originally be independent suspension, but I just couldn't get the clearances that I wanted. I couldn't get the differential to be up high while keeping the wheels lower. Should still have it somewhere. This is kind of what I was doing, but it doesn't like to work right. So I scrapped that idea for now and just went to straight axles. So it is a 4-link panhard bar on each axle, but the front have a tie rod and drag link for steering, and a steering stabilizer down there. I guess I should lift it up to better look at it. But yeah, like I said, the axles are the same as the Jeep, and then the rear is the same thing. It's got basic sway bars, and then for power, I will take the back off really quick. Unlocks here, and the back plate comes off. For power, there are 2 of the larger motors, the high torque, low RPM ones. And then, I guess I can take this off really well. And then those go into my 3-speed gearbox with a slight gear reduction here. My 3-speed gearbox has an underdrive, a 1-to-1, and then an overdrive. Here we go. 3.375 to 1, 1 to 1, and then 0.296 to 1. And then I want to change a little bit of the gearing on it. I will explain in a moment. To get the output from the gearbox down to the main drive line, I had to do this kind of weird shaft thingy with crown gears and stuff down here. I want to swap this gear here with this one so that it has even more torque than it does now, but I'll do that at some point later. There's a main brake disc there. The motors also do a little bit of braking. And then got the main drive shaft going to the rear. The drive shafts themselves are 2 pieces, like a normal kind of slip yoke eliminator kind of thing. I don't know exactly what it's called. In a normal vehicle, you have, that's rear-wheel drive, you have the gearbox, transmission, and then the drive shaft itself just slides into the back of the gearbox, and as the axle moves up and down, it can slide in and out because of the movement. But that can fall out easily. So another thing they do is make a system where the drive shaft bolts right onto the output of the gearbox and bolts right onto the differential, and then it slides in the middle, which is what this does. So this setup just lets it slide and change length. However, because of video game physics, it likes to not work the greatest. And then in between the differentials, I just made it a simple setup for it to transfer the power all the way through. And same with the front. So. And then my typical way of locking the differentials. Upwards from that, I'm going to put the side panel back on. Upwards from the drivetrain, we have just a basic ladder bar style chassis that drops down in a few points for the suspension and whatnot. And then the fenders are just simple flat fenders. Simple rear end, rear bumper kind of thing. This has on the... Did I put them on the front as well? No. Okay, so on the back, it has the normal springs, and then these ones help with extra load. So if it's weighed down from something, the axles will also push against these instead of just these, and it just helps with the load a little bit. And then having these ones will let the axles drop out more. We have 2 batteries in the back in between the frame rails, and then 2 batteries stacked on top of each other in the front. And then the steering wheel doesn't actually steer, it's not set up with anything. But for the sake of looks, it's back to the same kind of gearing that the driveline uses. And then to under the cab, through this CV joint, through this gear, into the steering mechanism, which is just a bunch of gears to link it up to servo and pitman arm, which is the same design that I used on the Jeep, so if you'd like some more details on that, check that out as usual. And this just kind of holds stuff in place. And then this bar just goes back to the steering for the other axle. We've got servo there for the pitman arm. And then that all just connects it all together. And the front sway bar is just nice and simple. We've got spare tires, because why not? You should always have spare tires. And then mock, kind of like air intake kind of things for airflow. Oh my goodness, where all did I lock it on? Come on. It's a pain in the butt to get everything. Hold on, I will take the wheel off. Okay, it's locked there. There we go. So yeah, the front of the housing where the motors are has a hole in it for airflow, and then this just kind of would guide air down into it if it were a bit more realistic for cooling. But that's just a little unneeded detail I felt like putting in, because I don't think they actually have any heat properties, but if it was real it would. And then a little bit more airflow control over here in the bottom. And that's pretty much it. Overall, it's pretty simple. There's just a lot going on. There's the inside of my gearbox. Simple little gearbox. Pretty big for only being a 3-speed, but whatever. And then there's a piston for selecting either rear-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. And yeah, I will throw the back on it, and we will check out how it handles a little bit. That back on. You can see a little hole there for letting air flow through, which again, if that was an actual thing. And then the cab does tilt, but I don't have it set up at the moment. And then you can do the steering wheel kind of turning. Why is it pushing cab up? That was interesting. I wonder why it's pushing the cab up. It shouldn't be. Either way, It has a lot of torque, however, because of the way I did the drive shafts, you can kind of see at the top of the screen that it doesn't really work the greatest. They do slip, but it's the only way I could get the most suspension travel out of it. It does work. It works a bit better in four-wheel drive, so I will see the gears kind of moving there on the right side. Put it into all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, sorry. And yeah, it's just a big 8x8 truck. I also need to work a little bit on the steering because the front wheels shouldn't have the same steering lock. The rear set should turn less. But you can see kind of how it all moves, all the suspension travel. It has a fair bit of suspension travel. Yeah. Just the... And there you can see the cab does move, but not the most. I need to move the pistons for it. And then... Oh, there we go. The steering isn't the best. I should probably put hydraulic assist on it, but oh well. Yeah. It's just a simple, big 8x8. I don't really know what else to show on it. If I've forgotten something I should have mentioned, just put it in the comments and I'll make another video on it or something. This is just, along with that other truck, is something that I've been working on off camera when I'm not working on the Jeep. And then it does this weird wiggly thing. Because of all the play in the drivetrain. Oops. But yeah. That is that. I don't even have a name for it right now. Either way. When it's actually done, I'll probably do another video on it, but that's it for now. So, always, if you have any questions, any tips or tricks or anything you want me to check out, feel free to let me know. Put it down in the comments. And as usual, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.